Grand Rising Synchronized Souls, and welcome to some soul guidance for the full moon in Leo. As we know, the full moon in Leo is all about joy, right? About this invitation for us to go back to play, for us to go back to creativity. Because it is a full moon, we are talking about releasing. Very specifically with the full moon in Leo, we're really speaking about you releasing limiting beliefs, or maybe you releasing self-sabotaging ways that your inner child has been holding on to. This particular full moon in Leo, with everything that's been transpiring, with all of the conversations I've been having with the collective, I've really been noticing that souls have been wanting some more guidance in regards to their love life and in regards to their career. So I decided to do something a little different, and I'm really, really excited, if you couldn't tell by my energy, for me to actually share the information that was pulled, but also for me to actually do something a little bit differently in this space. So I'm going to be starting first off with those souls who want some more information in regards to their love life. If you are single, like me, I'm going to be talking to y'all first, and then afterwards we're going to be speaking to souls who are either in relationships or who are married. Afterwards, we're going to be jumping into our career reading. So if you are doing something that you love, we're going to be talking to you first, and then afterwards we're going to be speaking to souls who may be doing something that they don't really love and want some guidance and some advice on that. With all of that being said, we're going to jump right in. We start off with souls who are single, and the first card that came up with was Life Purpose. I thought it was really interesting that Life Purpose came up first as the card, especially in regards to being single, simply because souls are probably thinking, why? Like, where is the connection? One, maybe at this particular point in time, your life purpose, your business, your career is actually taking up too much energy, and you're not actually able to pour that amount of energy into your love life or your relationship, first thing. Second thing that really came up with this card was really acknowledging that your life purpose, like most plain simple, boil it down, no matter what industry, no matter your niche, no matter your business, no matter what you do, our life purpose, right? The one thing that unites us, all of us, is for us to be love, for us to give love, for us to show up and be appreciation, be kindness, be gratitude, and all of the things that are grounded in that unconditional love energy. So maybe you're worrying, right? And thinking so much about this relationship piece right now that you're not actually, leading with love, that you're not actually grounding yourself in love. And because of that, you're not actually fulfilling the most fundamental thing of our life purpose, which is for us to receive, right? And for us to give love from that heart chakra. So change your perspective. Something that I say very frequently, especially when I'm doing conversations with y'all, is really acknowledging that if you can start shifting your perspective and sharing up and giving all of the love that you want to receive, there is going to be somebody, a soulmate, right? A twin flame, whatever it is that you're calling in, a kindred spirit that is going to be attracted to you because of the love that you share, right? And that you share so freely, right? Without expectation. I think that's really important to say. The other two cards that came up really made me laugh, because the first card that came up, I was like, eh. And then the second card that came up was really synchronized. So I'm actually going to show them both. The first card that came up, again, for singles, was distorted masculine energy, really important. And then the third card, again, was distorted feminine energy. So we go life purpose, distorted masculine, distorted feminine. I think it's really, really, really important to acknowledge that. If you are not showing up leading with love, or if you are leading with love because you expect something, you think the universe owes you something, right? You think that you have to get the things that you want because of the things that you went through. That's not the way that works. Yes, you are deserving and worthy, but you are deserving and worthy because of how you show up, right? Because of your energy, because of how you alchemize that pain. So if you're not alchemizing, it means that we are now operating in distorted energy, and in operating in that distorted energy, you're not calling in the love that you want, the relationship that you want that is in alignment, because you're not in alignment. Right? I really wanted to actually read from the book because there's a couple of traits that I talk about specifically with distorted masculine and feminine energy that the book mentions. And I just wanted to read it from the horse's mouth. So it says, distorted masculine energy is here for all of us to see every day in our lives. It is characterized by an unwillingness to trust, tending to ignore emotions and intuition, wanting proof for everything, and insisting on a logical or rational approach, right? Really think about those characteristics and whether or not you have those or whether or not you were leading that, especially the unwillingness to trust. How can you want a relationship and seek a relationship when you are not willing to be open, right? That you are not going to attract somebody that is actually going to want to be open either. Distorted feminine energy, right, may not appear to run the world in the same way as distorted masculine energy does, yet it is in a commonplace and equally destructive. Distorted feminine is characterized by negative emotions, depression, neediness, and a sense of going around in circles or needing proof for pointless drama, right? Feeling unattractive or being trapped or powerless. How many souls feel like they are a victim to the circumstances in their life? Really acknowledging that if you are leading with that energy, we are leading with distorted feminine energy, right? If you are not actually taking the time to be confident, if we're attaching ourselves and leading with codependence energy, we are leading with distorted feminine energy, right? Really acknowledge how, again, how is that going to affect the partners that you are attracted to or the souls who are attracted to you? Both of these cards have some journal questions that I do want to say out loud, right? So for distorted masculine energy, it says, do you live by your clock in your diary, pushing everything aside until work is done? Do you ignore your intuition or the messages from your body urging you to relax and rest? Are you afraid to feel your emotions for fear of being overwhelmed or appearing weak? These are all things that I speak about in the Soulpreneur program because it's so relevant and so significant that we synchronize our feminine and masculine energy, and we do it in a way that is divine and not distorted, so that we can actually lead with our hearts, right? Lead with our heart chakras open so we can attract the clients that we want, so we can attract the abundance that we want. Really acknowledging, again, we're talking about love and I'm already talking about career because they're so interconnected, especially when we speak about life purpose here, right? For the distorted feminine energy, some of the questions that come up is, are you constantly becoming involved with the wrong kind of partner? Do you blame your mate for the things that aren't working in your life? Do you second guess yourself or imagine that other people think ill of you? Are you afraid to ask for what you really want, right? Or are you just waiting for somebody else to figure it out for you? Are you dwelling on old feelings of hurt and disappointment? Again, all things that we speak about in the Soulpreneur program in that first month when we're speaking about synchronizing your soul, because that life purpose piece is so important, right? If you are single, right, really acknowledging that right now our guides are calling on you to synchronize your energy, and you can do that, right? You can synchronize your energy so that you can start attracting something that is actually in alignment. Love that. We're going to be moving on to souls who are either in relationships or souls who are married. First card that came up was sexual freedom. And I thought it was really important that sexual freedom came up in relationships in the married crowd, because I know some people are thinking like, what does sexual freedom actually mean, right? Sexual freedom is kind of a trend that started, I would say, in the 1960s, right? Something that really came into being, and really just acknowledging that it's not about you sleeping around, right? It's about you actually being able to express your needs, for you to connect on an intimate level, and for you to feel safe for you to do so. So again, acknowledge that there's actually a couple on that card, right? So you're in a relationship. Do you feel safe in your relationship? Can you express your kinks? Can you express your desires in your relationship and actually allow yourself to reach new depths of what you think sexual freedom actually is? The second card that came up with the marriage and single crowd was reparenting yourself. I think it was really important that it came up here, because if you're in a long-term relationship, or if you are married, maybe you are at this point in your life where you're contemplating kids, right? Or maybe you already have children. I think it's really important that reparenting yourself comes up under the full moon in Leo, because as of right now, we're really, really, really talking about you, right? Your inner child needs you, and how can we balance that out? If you're constantly caring to everybody else's needs and you're not caring to your own needs, this is the card to come up to say, not only are your own needs needing you, your inner child is needing you, right? And she's calling for you. They're calling for you, and they're asking you to listen, right? To care, to create space, to allow for the freedom for them to roam and to do that in a space that feels really secure. So how can you start creating that sense of balance for yourself? When I think about reparenting yourself or your inner child, again, I don't really think about telling your inner child that you've done something or they've done something right or wrong. I really just talk about it from a perspective of how can I bring my inner child into the present, right? My inner child is stuck in some part of the past, in some circumstance, and they don't understand all of the things that have changed, right? They don't understand that I am taking care of me, that I am taking care of me. And because I am taking care of me, the harm that came to me as a child, the harm that came to me as a teenager, the harm that came to me as an adolescent is not going to come to my inner child again, but they do not know that. So when I work with my inner child, it's about bringing them into the present so that they can feel safe and so that they can acknowledge that all of the things that they used to hide, all of the ways that they felt like they were not enough or they felt like they did not fit in, are all of the things that I am now owning, all of the things that I am completely embracing, right? And I am accepting radically so that they don't have to hide in the same ways that they had to before in the past, right? We've hid in the past because of survival. I think it's really important to acknowledge that, especially Black community during Black History Month, for us to acknowledge that all of the times that we've hidden our gifts, all of the times that we've made ourselves small, all of the times where we've played fucking dumb so that we could catch wise, all of the times that we've done that was so that we can get to this space right now, so that we can feel safe to embrace all of the things that we used to hide in those shadows and bring that to the light and say, this is who the fuck I am. And I'm so grateful that I am the person that I used to need. Right? I am so grateful that I was able to reparent myself, that I was able to show myself that there was nothing ever wrong with me. I was just in the wrong space, right? Not anymore. You've created the space for yourself. Bring them into that space so that they now know that they can roam without harm. The last card that came up for marriage and relationship crowd was emotional freedom. And I think it's really, really important that emotional freedom came up in this, because if you're in a long-term relationship, sometimes we don't communicate our needs, right? Sometimes we don't feel all that safe, right, for us to do so. So I think it's important that reparenting yourself came up first. How can you make yourself safe? How can you make your inner children feel safe? And then how can you then start creating that sense of safety within your relationship so that you can show up as yourself, right? So that you can actually feel that emotional freedom. I also think it's really important for me to say out loud, your partner is not hindering you. Right? Your partner is not limiting you, right? Remember that we make choices in life. If you are choosing to be with this person and you feel like they are limiting you, then that is a decision that you've made, and that is a decision that you can course correct. But it's about acknowledging our responsibility in that, right? Acknowledging our accountability throughout the choices that we've made so that you can say, I have power, right? Not that you are powerless, but that you've made maybe choices, right? That you now look back with hindsight, now look back with wisdom, now look back with lived experience to say that I would have done things differently. Now you can, right? You have the emotional freedom for you to make different choices and for you to choose different things, or for you to voice the things that you need so the things that you want actually start coming into fruition. That's what I got for the love reading. We're going to be jumping into career. So if you are doing something that you absolutely love, I have 3 cards for you. The first 2 cards are from a life purpose stack, and the card that came up first was Talk to Your Angels. I don't know how many times I tell y'all in the Synchronized Soul community to do this. Talk to your angel. Why are you worrying? Right? Instead of worrying, ask for divine guidance. It's literally what it says on the card. Why are you worrying? You're spending all of this time and all of this energy worrying about what could go wrong, worrying about what is not actually working, just worrying, right? And that is energy that you could be using more intentionally in a different space. You're doing what you love. And when we do what we love, some of the things that we worry about are, is this going to last, right? Am I going to keep doing what I'm loving? You start going into a space of, am I going to be able to make money doing the things that I love, right? And I acknowledge that these are fears, but these are things that you can ask for guidance from, right? From your team so that you can start receiving the information that you're actually looking for. The second card that came up was freedom. Love that this came up, right? You're doing what you love, so you are free to choose right? You are free to do what you choose. That's literally what we were just talking about. You are free to do what you choose. You can choose something different, right? You can do things differently because of the fact that you have freedom, right? I also think it's really important for you to start asking yourself, what does freedom mean to you, right? Sometimes we go into financial freedom, but what about your health, right? What about not only your wealth, your health? What about your friends? What about your support system, right? What about your beliefs? What about all of the other ways that you are wealthy? What about all of the other ways that you are free? Your freedom of your time, your freedom to choose, right? Your freedom to leave. You have so much freedom. How can we start grounding ourselves in that so that you can remember how powerful you are? Once you start remembering that things are not happening to you and that you actually have the ability to co-create and to create change in your life, while you're doing the things that you love, you're not going to worry so much about, is it going to last? Because even if it doesn't, it's not that it's not lasting because, you weren't worthy of it. It's not lasting because you're evolving into something different, right? Because you are choosing something more, because your idea of freedom is growing and evolving. And that is a beautiful thing, right? You're constantly growing because you're able to be creative. Acknowledge the freedom in that. Acknowledge the wealth in that, the abundance in that, the happiness in that. And then last card I pulled from Money and Law of Attraction. It's card number 53, and it says appreciation and love are identical vibrations. This has been a crowd favorite with the cards. This card, I can't even tell you how many times this card has come up in a collective reading for y'all, right? So I'm going to say it again. Appreciation and love are identical vibration. Appreciation is the vibration of alignment with who you are. Appreciation is the absence of everything that feels bad and the presence of everything that feels good. When you focus upon what you want, when you tell the story of how you want your life to be, you come closer and closer to the vicinity of appreciation. And when you reach it, it will pull you towards all of the things you consider to be good in a very powerful way, right? Moving back into a space of you are doing what you love. If you're worrying about your finances, if you're worrying about the time, they're going into a space of how can you just appreciate what you have? How can you love what is happening and ground yourself in who you are, ground yourself in what it is that you are doing, ground yourself in the lifestyle and how things are showing up, because that's going to allow you to get closer, right? Closer to the abundance, closer to the appreciation, and closer to all of the things that you want in a very powerful way. Moving into souls who are maybe doing things that they don't really love and want some advice. Again, I want to say this is a collective reading. So if all of the messages do not resonate, if nothing resonates, that is okay. Take what resonates and leave the rest. But the first thing that did come up for this card was speaker. Thought that was important, right? It says your life purpose involves your skill of oration, being able to speak. I think it's really important for us to acknowledge that, again, Black History Month and how important speaking has been within the Black community, right? Really acknowledging the power of words, the power of being able to voice words with the energy that holds it. More and more, a lot of people talk about the fact that they like my voice and they like the way that I'm able to say things. I say all of this to say that there are some souls who are watching this right now who have their own gift with words and have their own gift and ability to speak, and your guides are calling on you to speak. You have something that is worthy of being shared and something that the universe needs you to share. Start sharing it. Right? If you're not doing what you love right now, this is going to be the first step to get you on the path of you doing something that you actually love. Second card that came up was support. Love this for y'all. It says your life purpose fully supports you. How can you remind yourself that you are supported during this time period? Right? Going back to that talking to your angels card that came up for the souls who are doing what they love. Now the souls who are not doing what they love, our guides are reminding you that you are supported. You are supported throughout this journey. So if you are not doing something that you love and you want a career change, you want to start that spiritual business, you want to maybe pour more energy into the project that you've already been doing, I want to remind you, I am here to help. Part of the support is acknowledging that there are people around that actually want to help you, and I want to help you. I want you to succeed. I want you to feel love and happiness in the way that you envision it for you. you. Again, I'm going to say the Soulpreneur program is coming up for souls who have their own spiritual business or just a heart-centered business. If they consider themselves soulpreneurs, right? If you are an entrepreneur who leads with their soul, this is the program for you. We're going to be talking about energy. We're talking about business strategy. You're going to be working with me for 3 months. This is the support that they're talking about, right? Not necessarily me, just me, but acknowledging that there are so many healers, right? So many lampposts along the way that want to help you. There's so many teachers that want you to feel the things that you feel like you can be feeling, and it is possible, but it starts with a step, right? It starts with a change. Last card that came up for you in terms of law of attraction was card number 9. Talking about endings here. How can we end this cycle of you not doing things that you don't love anymore? Right? It says, I can see my world through the eyes of Source. And it says, by choosing better feeling thoughts and by speaking more of what you do want and less of what you do not want, you will gently tune yourself to the vibrational frequency of your broader perspective. To see your world through the eyes of Source is the truly most spectacular view of life form. That vibrational vantage point that you are in alignment with, and therefore in process of attracting only what you would consider to be the very best of your world. I really like this reminder for y'all. You're doing something that you don't love, and maybe you feel like you have to, right? Maybe you feel like you are in this box that there are not a lot of options. This card is really asking you to broaden your perspective, to remind you that you have more choices and more possibilities than you think. And because of that, how can you tune yourself into that expanding possibility? How can you tune yourself into your highest good and what is possible, right? And reminding yourself that there are infinite possibilities so that you can then get yourself back into a space of you doing what it is that you want, right? Another big piece of advice here was do not focus on what you do not want. All of this do not want, the universe is not picking up on the do not, it's just picking up on the energy. And if that's been a reoccurring thought, that is what we're pointing our point of attraction to. So again, start focusing on what you do want. That's going to start shifting your point of attraction and start getting you in alignment with something that is for your highest good. With all of this being said, I want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time to watch these messages. Thank you for taking the time to like, for you to comment. Please do share this with souls that you feel might need these messages. And again, I say take what resonates and leave the rest. There's so many different ways for y'all to synchronize your soul with me. As I've been saying throughout this video, there's the Soulpreneur program that's going to be coming up. We start March 19th. So if you are looking for some business help, that is going to be a way for you to help. As of right now, I also do have a supporting my Black owned business. So just acknowledging that there is a 5-card special right now for $99. Usually this is $177. So this is a very big discount. Hoping that y'all will take advantage. And then the last thing I want to acknowledge is that there is the Soul Scope guidebook. So if you are looking for some long-term guidance, that is also on my site for sale. As of right now, it's $77, so it's on sale. There's about 84 pages, digital pages. There's a 3-card spread for every single month. So if you're looking for some guidance month over month, that would definitely be the tool and the resource for you. With all of that I say I love you. Thank y'all, and I will see you next time. Bye, friends.